The April 15th deadline is just over a month away. Are you ready? Today we have some tax tips, including what you should do if you owe back taxes, what actually qualifies as a capital gains tax, and where you can go for free tax help.
Many of us remember our grandparents talking about the time of the house call. Well, it seems they're making a comeback. What convenient service you can now enjoy without leaving your home or the office.
Renewable energy is something we all can't afford to ignore. Coming up, why the smell of your trash could mean more green in the air and your pocket in the not-so-distant future.
And rockfish season is fast approaching. Today, the chef from Sobo's Wine and Bistro shares a recipe for the white meat, low-fat fish you're sure to love. Delmarva Life starts right now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lisa Bryan.
And I'm Brian Spiros. Welcome to Delmarva Life from historic Studio D.
And you know, with the weather fluctuating the way it has been, you know, we had like, what, 50, 60 degree temperatures over the last weekend.
Yes, it was
We
nice.
were back down into the 30s this morning. A lot of people walking around with colds. Have you noticed that?
Yes, a lot of people have been sick.
Everybody.
Yes.
So there, a lot of them going to the doctor's office to get put on the antibiotics, but
there is a but.
There is a but, and that's what we're starting our hot topics with today. The FDA has a warning regarding a very popular antibiotic, the Z-Pak. Have you ever been put on the Z-Pak?
Yes, I have many times.
Well,
Z-Pak, it's also known as azithromycin, Zithromax. It has many different names, and basically the FDA says that the Z-Pak, or azithromycin, whatever you say, it can cause irregular heart rhythm in some patients, which can be deadly.
Ooh.
That's the latest that's come out about it now.
Yeah, this is kind of scary because I know they put a lot of kids. I know my daughter, every time she got an infection or something as a kid, they would put her on the
because
Z-Pak.
it comes in pill form as well as liquid for children. And this latest news comes after a study was published in the New England Journal of Medicine, which found that the drug had a high rate of cardiovascular death compared to other antibiotics. And the FDA says doctors should be aware of the risk factors before prescribing the drug to patients.
It's not being recalled or taken off the shelf
No.
or anything like that. It's just that I think doctors just need to pay attention to the patient who they're prescribing it to if they have pre-existing conditions and things like that.
So something to be a little cautious
just
for, because it is a very common drug.
It is. And I think another reason it's so popular is you can get the ones where you take like 4 pills at once and then you take a couple pills a couple days later.
2 pills at once, and then it's like you take it for 5 days in
Yeah,
total.
it's a very short course of antibiotics.
Exactly.
So something to think about.
So just food for thought on that. And you know, something else going on today. Today is the deadline for 5 airports in Maryland to make their case to the FAA to keep their air traffic control towers open.
Oh, that's why my husband's so grumpy.
that may be why. Or there could be other things, who knows. And 2 of those airports are in our backyard, the Salisbury Airport and the airport in Easton. Now this comes as cuts have to be made to many government agencies across the board, and if this happens, the airport will be able to stay open, but pilots will have to be the ones making radio calls and giving position reports. And I think that's something that's important to talk about because people think no control tower, the airport's going to go away.
Right now.
And I can tell you from my flight experience that it is common that there are airports out there that don't have control towers, and so basically the pilots have to give position reports when they're taxiing, when they take off, when they land, so that other aircraft in the vicinity know where they're located.
Right. Everybody has to know where everybody else is. And yeah, my husband, who manages the Salisbury Airport, has been burning the midnight oil working on his report that was due today.
Yes.
Hopefully on Monday we'll find out that we get to keep the tower here in Salisbury. I hope Easton gets to keep their tower as well.
Yeah,
they're there for a reason.
Yeah, that's another busy airport, but like you said, Monday is the deadline. We'll find out what happens.
Yeah.
So going from there. You remember Sheriff Gary Hoffman?
Oh yeah,
Queen Anne's County Sheriff. How can we forget him?
We had him on the show a couple weeks ago.
Well, he's well known for his use of multimedia to catch criminals, and last month he was on Delmarva Life, as we just said, talking about his Valentine's Day video. He listed off his Valentines, we use that term loosely, which were some of the county's most wanted people. Now, he said some of the first ones to turn themselves in would get a dozen roses and a box of candy. Not a bad deal, if you ask me. When he was here on the show, he said he had gotten some tips regarding the most wanted people, and we have some good news. One of them has been taken into custody, so here now is the latest from Sheriff Gary Hoffman.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Gary Hoffman. I want to welcome you to this week's Queen Anne's County's Most Wanted. As most of you know, the one question I've been getting all week was, did I ever find that special Valentine? Well, I'm happy to report that one of my special Valentines has been located. Needless to say, she wasn't too happy to see the deputies when they arrived. She also said she didn't know she was wanted, but she did ask one question: who was going to get her flowers and candy?
It's an honest question, right?
Okay.
She was promised it.
Wait, but wait, I don't care that I want to know who's going to
Where's
get
that? I would be concerned with the candy too, to tell you the truth, if I was in her position, because I have a sweet tooth. So,
that's
so
great.
one person, and like I said, several other tips have come in. So while it's entertaining to us, it's doing a big service to the community. Obviously, getting these people off the street or having them taken into custody.
And it is serious business. We're not making light of it by any means, but you know, whatever works. Hopping over to Wicomico County, Sheriff Mike Lewis has rolled out a new website for Wicomico County. It's called Offender Watch. This is kind of neat. It's a sex offender management and community notification tool. Basically, you can find out by going to this website if a sex offender lives in your neighborhood, which is important information to know.
A lot of parents want to know that.
Also, if you you log in, you sign up, give them your email, it'll also send you an email if a sex offender moves into your neighborhood. If you want to learn more about Offender Watch, we have a link to it on our website, delmarvalife.com.
Interesting. So you'll get an update now.
Absolutely.
A lot of good being done there. Speaking of a lot of good, on May 30th, a long-awaited moment will take place in Federalsburg in Caroline County. The Federalsburg Veterans Memorial will officially be dedicated in a Memorial Day ceremony. Now, Memorial Day is usually observed the last Monday in May, but the traditional date is May 30th, and the memorial, which has been in the works for the last 5 years, will honor men and women from Federalsburg who have died in combat. And we should mention the memorial is located at the corner of Veterans Drive and Federalsburg Highway. Done stories on it in the past when I used to cover the news up there, and this has been a long-awaited moment for a lot of the families in the Federalsburg area who have lost children or loved ones in recent years and decades ago. So May 30th will be the official dedication to that. Long time coming for a lot of great people.
Yeah, and then those are always good ceremonies to go to. Take your kids to so they can understand what exactly Memorial Day is and why they get some time off.
Exactly.
From school.
Right. And the sacrifices that are made. So.
You know, we often hear about sediment, pollutants, and runoff that goes from our yards into waterways, rivers, tributaries all over Delmarva.
Right.
Well, Caroline County is helping stop some of that. The Caroline County Forestry Board and the Maryland Forest Service is offering the Backyard Buffer Program to county homeowners, and get this, it is free of charge.
Free. We like free.
So here's the deal. If you have a ditch, a stream, a creek, or something like that, a river even, flowing through your backyard or live adjacent to such an area, you qualify for the program. You can get 1 bag per property that has 20 seedling trees and native shrubs that you can plant near the water. And what that does is that helps stabilize the soil and help filter runoff from getting into the water, you know, like the nitrogen or whatever,
the phosphorus, all that stuff. Yeah, I guess the trees and the plantings sort of will help suck all that up so that it doesn't go into the water.
Yeah, because it's very bad for the water, can cause fish kills, all kinds of problems. So if you live in Caroline County and you live near water, you can pick up a seedling on April 3rd, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Caroline County Public Library. That's in Denton. You need to submit an application, and you need to get it in by March 31st. And for that information, we'll have you go to delmarvalife.com. We have the information there, so you can get all your...
We'll have it there, and as long as you qualify, you might as well take advantage of it because it's free and it's doing a lot of great stuff for the community. So definitely look into that.
Yeah. St. Patrick's Day is coming up this weekend. A fun day in Ocean City. As we know, we all know they have the big St. Patrick's Parade and Festival in Ocean City this weekend. It's on Saturday. 11 a.m. They're going to have just a little festival going on the 45th Street shopping area. They're going to have food, drink, and merriment. And then the parade begins at noon, and it travels Coastal Highway from 58th Street to 45th Street. We participated in it last year.
We did.
Had a blast.
It was a lot of fun. I was leery at first just because I'm walking in a parade and everyone's looking at you. But it was fun because we had the candy and we were throwing it at everyone, all the crowds, and they liked it. They got a kick out of it. I ate some of the candy.
We ate a lot of the candy.
Your son threw some at me.
My son was in the back of the Delmarva Life van, and his job was to make sure that our buckets or whatever we had were full of candy. candy, and for some reason he just decided that it would be more fun to just chuck the candy at
He honed
Brian.
in on me, and I was just getting Tootsie Rolls pelted at my face. It was fun to say the least.
And believe it or not, just last night he said, "Oh, Sunday's St. Patrick's Day. I need to throw some candy at Brian."
Oh, did he? Well, remind me not to go near him this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, more good news. Speaking of sugary food.
Stuff that's sweet,
yeah. The company that now owns Twinkies said they hope to have the snack cakes back on store shelves this summer. Woo!
That deserves a round of applause. Thank you.
I know a lot of people were bummed out. We even ate some Hostess products here on the set on the last day.
I haven't had a Twinkie in a long time, but they're very good. And we should mention the Apollo Global Management, an equity firm run by Dean Metropolis.
What a nice name.
I think he's Greek.
He's got to have money.
He's a Greek tycoon. Made a bid on Hostess brand incorporated snack and won the bid on Monday.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of worry when it first came out. It was like that was the headlines. What's going to happen to the Twinkie? Even though there's more important things going on in the world, we were worried about that.
Who's going to be the Pope? What's going to happen to the Twinkie?
The Twinkie. And we found out about the Twinkie before the Pope.
There you go.
Still so interesting. We often show, and you and Jimmy show a lot of crazy and cool and adorable videos during the Hot Topics, and we have one here for you that's really just inspirational and amazing to look at. An Australian toddler can barely walk, but already she swims like a fish. Look at this little girl. 1-year-old Kate Wood can easily finish nearly half a mile of laps in the pool. She could probably give me a run for my money. Kate had lessons since she was 7 months old.
Oh my goodness.
And as if that's not enough, she trains 3 times a week.
Oh,
look at her in the water.
We're going to look for that Australian team in about, what, 12 years, 13 years?
12, 13, 20 years, however long it takes.
We're going to see her on it.
Good for her. That's great. It's important to know how to swim, and she's starting at a young age.
And it's the dog paddle, albeit, but, hey, that's a great start.
She looks adorable with her little swim cap on and the goggles. I didn't realize they made goggles that small.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they do.
Well, still to come on Delmarva Life, the deadline to file your taxes is right around the corner. Coming up, some helpful tips you should know when it comes to filing. Organizations that will help for free, plus how to handle the burden of back taxes and righting your wrongs with the IRS.
Plus, 250 million tons of household trash end up in landfills every year. Imagine turning that trash into electricity. It can be done, and we'll show you how.
And later, we're in the kitchen with Sobos of Salisbury. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.
Delmarva Life is brought to you by Sussex County Federal Credit Union, guiding you to your financial future. Peninsula Regional Medical Center, honored to serve the entire Delmarva Peninsula since 1897. Your local York and Mitsubishi dealers. And State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.